What's the most fascinating animal in the world? My bio teacher, Mr. Keller, would ask us that every week, and we'd all shout out tigers or sharks or whatever, but he'd just shake his head and point to this tiny salamander in a tank by his desk. The axolotl, he'd say. This little guy can regrow entire limbs, organs, even parts of its brain. We thought he was nuts. Who cares about some weird pink thing that looks like it's smiling all the time? But then Leo joined our class halfway through junior year. New kid, kinda quiet, always ate lunch alone. The first day Mr. Keller did his axolotl speech, Leo's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. After class, he went straight to the tank and just stared. "Can it really regrow anything?" he asked. Mr. Keller nodded and started explaining how it worked. From that day on, Leo was obsessed. He'd stay after school to feed the axolotl these gross bloodworms, talking to it like it was his pet dog. "Hey buddy, how's it going? Ready for dinner?" The thing would just float there with that permanent smile. Leo named it Phoenix, which we all thought was cheesy as hell, but Leo didn't care. He'd tell anyone who'd listen about regeneration and stem cells and all this science stuff none of us understood. Then in March, everything changed. Leo's dad got hit by a drunk driver on his way home from work, crushed his left leg so bad they had to amputate below the knee. Leo disappeared from school for 2 weeks. When he came back, he looked like he'd aged 5 years. Dark circles under his eyes, barely spoke to anyone. Even Phoenix couldn't cheer him up. His dad was a mechanic, worked with his hands all day. Now he was stuck in a wheelchair, totally lost. Leo's mom was working double shifts to pay the medical bills. Their whole world fell apart overnight. I remember seeing Leo crying in the hallway one day, and I didn't know what to say. What do you tell someone whose dad might never walk again? But Leo kept visiting Phoenix every day after school. Mr. Keller would find him there just sitting on the floor by the tank, sometimes for hours. One afternoon, I heard Leo whispering to the axolotl, "My dad thinks he's broken forever, but you're not broken when you lose something, right? You just grow it back stronger." That weekend, Leo brought his dad to school. It was weird seeing this big guy in a wheelchair in our tiny classroom. His dad looked embarrassed, kept apologizing for being there. But Leo dragged him over to Phoenix's tank and started explaining everything. How axolotls don't see losing a limb as the end, just the beginning. How they never give up, never stop trying to rebuild themselves. His dad listened politely, but I could tell he thought it was just kid stuff. "That's nice, son," he said, "but I'm not a salamander." Leo's face fell. They left pretty quickly after that. I thought that was the end of it, but something must have stuck. Leo started telling me stories about his dad pushing harder in physical therapy, doing extra exercises at home. The physical therapist said he'd never seen someone so determined. When Leo asked what changed, his dad just said, "Some kid told me about a salamander that never gives up." Months went by. Leo's dad got fitted for a prosthetic leg, started walking with crutches, then just a cane. By December, he was back at work part-time. Leo was grinning non-stop, calling his dad the human axolotl, which made his dad laugh instead of getting annoyed. Senior year rolled around, and Mr. Keller announced he was retiring. On his last day, he asked one final time, "What's the most fascinating animal in the world?" The whole class shouted, "Axolotl." He got this huge smile, probably the first time we'd all agreed with him. After graduation, Leo's dad walked across the stage to hug his son. No wheelchair, no crutches, just a slight limp you'd barely notice. As they hugged, Leo looked over at Mr. Keller and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "You were right. The axolotl is the most fascinating animal. It saved my dad's life."